Hi, and welcome to my channel, Hanging with Veronica. I need for you to subscribe and like, okay? Anyway, it's story time. I feel like I need to be a little bit more transparent with a lot of you guys out there. As you know, I'm moving abroad, and I just went through a divorce. And the crazy thing about it all, I'm not on here just to bash him or try to say a whole bunch of negative things about him, you know, so you guys don't try to take it the wrong way. But it's like, I just felt it in my heart to tell my story since I'm trying to be transparent with a lot of stuff. Excuse the way I look because I was cleaning up the last little bit because I think the end of next month is my last month in here in the house. Okay, and speaking on the house, um, I try to, sell the house. I tried to sell the house, but because of his selfishness, he would not sign the papers because both of our names are on the house. So since he wouldn't sign the papers, I couldn't get the house sold. Um, he stopped paying for the house back in January. No. Yes, January. Um, because he left in December, supposed to go visit his family for a week, but did not return. So here in Texas, they call that abandonment. Me personally, he abandoned the situation. He didn't abandon me because I've lived on my own for a long time. But the whole thing was when he left me with all the bills. Um, and I wasn't working, still not working. Well, once I move, my work starts. Um, but yeah, he left me with all the bills. I had to talk to the mortgage company several times, send them some paperwork to get a hardship and all that other stuff. Oh, they fixed it right up. So I will hold no back payment, nothing like that. But it needed his signature. So he calls me and tells me that he has the papers. And I say, yeah, he got his paper before I got mine because he went back to Georgia. And the only thing I keep saying to myself, if I knew it was going to be like this, I would have never left California. I would have never uprooted my whole life and came here to Texas with him. So anyway, he never would sign the papers. He never sent them back. So everything reversed back. Everything reversed back to where it was, which was all the back mortgage. That's fine. Like I said, I'm not even upset about it. Like I stayed on top of everything. Um, but I always call to see where I'm at, what's the status or whatever. They were actually working with me to try to get this house, sold and to actually try to help me with different ways so it would go on my credit because, I worked so hard to keep my credit up. And with him, he never was the type to pay bills anyway because he had bad credit when I met him, and which I didn't find out till after we were married. So with that being said, now my credit is about to go to boo boo, but it's okay. I'll get it back because while I'm international, I'll just try to fix up my credit while I'm over there. Even though I have no intentions of ever coming back here, but with him, only thing I could say is if you're gonna marry someone, ladies, especially ladies, men also, if you're gonna marry someone, make sure you check them out thoroughly. The credit, I don't care how many years you thought you have known them, but check the credit, check how they work in a relationship because this marriage was treated like he treated every other marriage, and nobody held him accountable but me. So, yeah, I don't understand that part right there, how a woman could let a man just constantly keep running over her. But I was patient. I was patient, and just like my daughter said, it was like I'm doing something new. Cause normally, the first sign, I'm gone anyway. I'm gone. I don't deal with nonsense because I'm a no nonsense person. But with him, I gave him every opportunity to redeem himself, but he did not. Um, he was very selfish. He was very selfish. Um, he okay with me. I have MS. Okay, he has Crohn. First thing I did, because I'm a vegan, first thing I did, I would change his whole diet to make sure he's good, he's gonna be around or whatever. But did he care anything about mine? No, he didn't. He wouldn't even, because I gave him information. Look, read on this so you know how to deal with MS. And to top that off, before we even got together, the first thing I said, this is who I am. I told him who I was, and you know, I have MS. If you can't deal with it, I'm perfectly fine because I've been by myself for the last 10 years, been dealing with it by myself. I have no problem. First thing comes out of his mouth. My mom has Alzheimer's. She had Alzheimer's, and I took care of her. I'm not your mother. And your mother has a different disease than I have. I have MS. Something that will shut my whole body down. But anyway, by the grace of God, I've been good. And that's why I truly believe if you keep your faith and you know that God is totally in control. It's not under your control. When you think you're in control, trust me, you're not. Because God, some kind of way, will make you see that you're definitely not in control. Um, but like I stayed in prayer and kept my faith. That's how I got through this. From December of last year all the way up until now, I have been able, through the grace of God, to sustain myself and in this house. And the sad part about it, he would call not talking about what's going on in the house or how I'm doing or what I'm doing. Because, for one, I always have to stay from stress. I always have to stay away from stress because stress would make me relapse. So, and he knew this, but he didn't care. Um, but through it all, I forgive him for everything that he's done because I'm not going to block my blessing because of him because I feel like he didn't know any better. Because if you don't know better, you're not going to do better. So he didn't know about how to be in a relationship, be in a marriage, because everyone has let him gotten away with so much. But I'm not that person. So when you're in a marriage, to me, you have to work together. You have to build, you have to grow. He he was a taker and I'm a giver. So he rather for me to just keep giving, 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 and for me to do everything because I basically did everything. I mean, I was cooking for him, cleaning for him, washing his clothes. I mean, I was half the time I was his brain because there's a lot of stuff he didn't know. But I understand that. If you don't know, I'll tell you. But you have to get to the point at some point that you're gonna have to learn stuff on your own. And the only thing he ever learned was to drive a truck, I guess. I don't know. But I even told him, go back to school, do some, just do something. But he wouldn't do that. But anyway, because I've always stayed up on education and doing things, that's why I went back and got my certification just to teach abroad. Amongst like maybe 4 or 5 more other certifications that I got while I've been home. But the last thing I'm doing now, I enrolled back in school to get my bachelor's degree because I would make more um, as long as I have my bachelor's degree. But like I say, it's just right now it's a work in progress. Like I said, I'm not angry. Mm-mm. I'm definitely not angry because God has seen me through a whole lot right now. It took me a long time to get my divorce, and the crazy part about it, my divorce was final actually 9 days after my 4 year anniversary. Isn't that crazy? But I just want to say, if he's listening, looking, because I know he's lurking and stalking somewhere, or got somebody doing it. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I forgive you for everything that you have done. And you have done quite a bit. Quite a bit. But what don't kill you will make you stronger. And I think through this lesson learned right here, it has made me more stronger than anything. Um, I forgive, but trust me, I don't forget. I will feed you out of a long handled spoon, but at this point with him, I don't think that. Well, I know for a fact that I can't even be his friend. I can't, because I don't want him to get the wrong idea that we're gonna get back together or anything, because that's never going to happen again. Because once you burnt me once, I'm not gonna give you a second opportunity. And like I said, I'm right now I'm clearing the last little bit of the house. I'm really That's why I was like dressed like this, because I was mopping, cleaning, and everything, because I'm going to go visit. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go visit a friend, um, and probably a couple more other people before I head up out of here, because I'm leaving literally next month. I just had to wait for the whole Social Security thing, so I can get that started. And well, it's been in the works since January. But then the change of my name, they got to see proof that of the divorce and everything. So I got to take out those papers there. But that's all done, and I will be taking those papers to them next month. And I think right after that, about maybe 2 or 3 days later, like I said, I'm not giving no date, because it's not that important what my date is, because a lot of people just want to know when I'm leaving, where I'm going. Bottom line, sometimes you just have to keep some things to yourself, move in silence. Um, and with me, I'm trying to be more transparency with a lot of stuff, because I'm an introvert and I don't like a lot of things. And then as far as crowds and stuff like that, and then with me having my own YouTube channel, I just need to um, come over here and this is like an open forum for everyone. You can comment, you can state your opinions, but if you got anything really negative to say, please keep it to yourself. Because right now I'm in a peaceful place. I don't need any negativity, none whatsoever. And I'm not trying to give any. I'm really not. Like I said, I just came on here because I don't know. I just felt it in my heart that I just needed to say these things. And like I say, with him um, gone, I've been at peace. I've been at peace. Now, don't get me wrong. I have went through my little emotions and this and that, not because of him, well, because of the things he's done, but not totally because of him. Because with me, that's why it's a little bit easier, because he left my heart a long time ago. I cared for him, but he left my heart when he showed me who he really is. And when people show you who they are, trust me, believe them. He showed me his true colors several times. But I kept saying, okay, Veronica, you're not going to back away from this. But I should have. But it's okay. But I'm good now. But trust me, people, when somebody show you who they are, truly, truly, truly believe them. Because they are not lying of who they really are. Because the real them will come out. I just wish I could have seen the real person, like from day one. Because me, I've been the same person that's been trying to help that individual since we met. And I tried to show him a healthy love, um, real love, but he would not allow me to fall in love, not even an ounce, because he was constantly doing things. And okay, real quick, just a little story here. Um, One day, I think he had came from church or whatever not. But you know how when women have intuition. I'm quite sure men may have some too. But when women get one and it's really strong, you'll know. But he always told me he would never ever cheat on me, and which I knew. When you say stuff like that, that lets me know that's a lie. Anyway, um, because a cheater gonna always be a cheater. He's been a cheater all his life, and he said he cheated several times. The type to go live with one woman, come back to that woman, back and forth. And I can't do that. But anyway, this one particular time, I remember. I think he had came from church or came from. I think it was church he had came from. And I was in the bathroom. And I remember when he started undressing, because he was just singing all happy and stuff. He started undressing. A foul smell came from him. Like, not, I ain't gonna say foul. Yeah, it was foul to me because it was like a sexual smell, like you've been having sex or something. And I asked him, "What is that smell?" He was like, "What?" I left it alone. And I think that was the day actually I stopped sleeping with him. I think it was because he hadn't touched me in over a year. Yeah, it's been about a year. Yeah, it has been a year, a little over a year. Because my thing is, once you cross that line with me, you can't ever touch me because I don't want you giving me anything. But let him tell you. Um, he probably won't even remember or say he don't remember. I don't know which one it is, but um, he's gonna deny it. He's gonna deny it. I mean, because when you are a compulsive liar, you tell so many lies, you convince yourself. And he's been caught up so many times. But like I say, if you don't know better, you're not gonna do better. And he never known how to really be in a healthy, faithful relationship. He's not faithful at all. But I just hope that whomever the next girl be, woman be, that he have learned. But sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks, because even towards the end, just before this whole divorce thing, just about a week or two, yeah, about 2 weeks before I was going to the court. No, a week before I got ready to go to the court, um, I had spoke with him, and like I said, he started being delusional again, saying that he could see it in my eyes that I was talking to someone. Now this is from a picture that he had seen on one of my TikToks. And when I was talking about I was tired and I wanted, I wish that not someone, I wish that a shower could come to me instead of me going to the shower. It's on my TikTok page. But he said he seen a person in my eyes, and then I guess I looked over, and I didn't never see, not one time I looked over, I looked up. And he seen that person. I guess I was supposed to be telling that person to shh, be quiet or whatever. But that's funny. That's real funny. But yeah, when he did that, just a week before I got ready to get, but he didn't know what day the divorce thing was, unless they contact him. I don't know, but he didn't show up either way. Um, but when he said that, and I told him, I said that just being Delulu. So that's when I made up my mind. I didn't want to have no more contact because I dealt with that so much. When I say so much, so much. I dealt with that during this whole time that he's been down there in Georgia, in Oakville, Georgia. I was dealing with that, with the whole camera situation, swearing that he's seen somebody here in the house, and I stepped over somebody outside on the porch. While they was laying on the porch, I stepped over them, and it's very humorous. One thing about me, I make sure all my doors are closed before I ever open another one. I would never, never bring someone else into my life and I got a situation going on. And then I'm the type also, I always make sure that I'm healed. You don't bring nobody into a situation if you're not healed. Because the only thing you're doing is bringing those problems. I don't want to do that. I would never do that. Never have, never will. And at this present moment, I don't even want to deal with nobody. As far as, I'm dealing with me right now. I'm dealing with me. Yes, I've had people constantly come into my DMs lately, want to get to know me. Not right now. Not right now. Because that's not what I want. Because I feel like a person just look at me and not just want to get to know me. They want to get to know what's in me. If you know what I mean? They want to get to know that body part. I don't want that. That's not going to happen. I said, because if that ever occur again, guess what? I'm going to be married. I know. You don't want let no one person, one rotten apple, spoil the whole bunch. Because I really feel that there's someone sincere out there that I could personally fall in love with him, because he was not my person. That's the bottom line. He was not my person. So, with that being said, who knows? I may meet Mr. Right, not right now, not Mr. Right now, but Mr. Right when I'm traveling, before I travel, or even when I'm over there, overseas. I don't know. But it's not like I'm seeking, because I'm not. If God put that man in my life, then I would welcome that. But me getting a man on my own, that's not going to happen. Because I got a thing when people ask me, they always say, tell me a little bit about yourself. No, I can't tell you anything. You know why? I can tell you anything that I want. That don't necessarily mean that's who I am. You stay around me. Get to know me. And that's why when they say, what type of man you want? I don't tell that either. Because I've just went through that. The first time I ever broke my own rule, told what type of man I wanted, he portrayed that role. Yeah. And was not even close. Okay? Once the real person came out. They would bait you to get you, but after they got you, that's when, bam, that real person come out. But that's why I never tell a man what I'm looking for or what I'm seeking in a man. You would know. You wouldn't even have to ask me that. No, not at all. Because if you're the man for me, it's just smooth. It is like a roll. It just rolls smoothly. I won't have to say anything. Not a thing. But marriages and relationships, especially relationships, any kind of relationship, they're not like they used to be. Here I am. I'm 60 years old, starting over. And the dating pool is not that good out there no more. And then on top of that, it's not safe. I keep hearing about all these different states and places have, how the rate of HIV is high. No, we're not doing that. Clink, clink, locked down. It'll stay locked down. I was locked down for 10 years before. Clink, clink. I ain't worried about nobody. Only thing I have to do is say the word celibacy. They run anyway. That's funny. But And it will continue to be that way. Because I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm already fighting a immune deficiency. Sorry about that. I'm already fighting that to stay alive. But trying to fight a disease on top of that, that's a struggle in its own. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that at all. I'll let everybody catch whatever you're gonna catch, but you're not gonna catch me. I don't want that. Don't want it at all. At all. So I'm gonna get back to my cleaning now. But I just feel like I just needed to say a little something um, while I was here. But anyway, I'm going to get back with you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Hanging with Veronica. Be easy.